Cheers.
You hear that? Ding. No, I'm playing.
Welcome back to Tiny Table Talk, where we sit down, slow down, and talk about the things that exist just beneath the surface. My name is Crystal.
And my name is Lily.
Today's conversation is one of those that sits right in between worlds, okay?
Okay.
So, a dream, a presence, and a question that a lot of people don't always feel comfortable asking out loud. Can something actually reach you from beyond what you can see? What do you think?
Can something reach you from beyond what you can
What
see?
what you can see.
What you can see. Okay. I think it could. I really do think it could.
I think so too. Just based on what I do.
Yeah,
That's what I do.
based on what you do, but
Yeah.
also like keep in mind the people who can see things and you know,
There are
explain all
people
that.
there are people who can see the unseen,
Yeah,
you know.
there you go.
But every day I feel like there's a lot on in the unseen,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And that's that energy field we've been talking about. Anyways.
And different level of frequencies,
Yes, or are we sometimes experiencing something deeper within ourselves that feels like it's coming from outside?
Ooh.
That's
Yeah.
yeah, valid point there
Yeah, you
too.
could.
Anyways.
You could. You never know.
So let's go ahead and dive right in. I'm going to read this dream submission exactly as it was sent in, okay? So our stargazer, I don't really need to give her a name. Our stargazer submitted a dream here. And I'm going to go ahead and take off with it.
All right. I'm all ears. Let's go.
All right. So last night, I had a very vivid and strange dream that felt extremely real. I had only been asleep for about 15 minutes when it started. In the dream, I was outside taking my baby doggy out when I noticed a woman standing behind the fence. She looked like she was in her mid 20s, light skinned, and dark black hair. She was just staring at me. I didn't feel scared at first and thought she would go away, but she kept watching me because she kept watching me. Oh, yeah. So because it felt uncomfortable, I went back inside the house. Then I woke up and realized I had only been asleep for about 15 minutes, which felt strange. Okay.
Okay.
I fell asleep again. Another dream started. This time I was in the kitchen with my husband. Suddenly he starts complaining of severe back pain. I saw him bending backwards in a strange way and asking for help. Then he fell through the back window. Oh my God.
Oh.
That's chaotic.
Okay.
Okay. When I looked outside, I cannot.
I'm sorry. That's like it turned like completely.
Okay.
Sorry.
I'm just visualizing this and I'm like, whoa, this looks like a
Yeah.
movie. Okay.
Yeah.
She understands my humor, so it's okay.
Okay. Okay. We're not laughing at the dream. We're laughing at like imagining. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. So, okay, when I looked outside, I need a moment. Oh, God. Okay. When I looked outside, the same woman from before was behind the fence again, and it felt like she was somehow controlling him. Here, we're getting serious. Okay. At that moment, I started praying out loud in the dream and saying things like, remove anything that does not serve us. We are in the light of God and we do not accept anything negative. I kept repeating that while trying to help my husband because he looked like he was in pain. Obviously. That's crazy. I also noticed the woman getting closer when I suddenly woke up again. When I checked the time, it was around 1:45 a.m., so I had only slept about 20 more minutes.
Okay.
When I woke up, I had a strange feeling like someone was in the corner of the room watching us sleep. The bed also felt bigger than normal. Like there was a lot of space between me and my husband, even though we were both in the same positions. I got a little scared, but continued praying until I felt calm again. I even asked my dad to help protect us. Eventually, the feeling went away and I started to feel safe again. And when I read that, I just sat there for a second. I was like,
I
because
mean,
yeah, that's not just a dream that you forget.
right. Like, even me, I'm, like, sitting here like, "Oh, damn," like, I'm sorry. It's because it turned, like, so serious. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, the whole dream is serious,
Yeah,
but
obviously,
yeah.
yeah, it's just crazy.
It
For me, the dreams are just like, oh my god.
yeah. It almost sounds like at some point I no, maybe not. It okay, the only reason I'm gonna say this is because of the way you woke up and you felt like your husband was, like, so far away and you felt like there was a presence there, that almost sounds exactly like a sleep paralysis
Hmm.
when you're waking up. But there's a difference between all that. There's definitely a difference.
It's kind of like the same concept, the same.
Yes.
It's we're gonna jump into that here in a bit, but it's that same energy of just like high alert, high adrenaline, like
Right.
waking up, still reacting to the dream.
Right.
So
Yes.
yeah, I get it. I get it. So the first thing that stood out to me was how quickly the dream started. Falling asleep, waking up, going right back in.
Yes.
You must have been real tired, girl. No, I'm kidding.
No, you know what? I'm gonna say this. Like, yes, you were really tired to where you were like, I'm just trying to sleep. I'm just trying to sleep. But also, I also feel like if at some point you wake up in the middle of the night, only because like I've experienced this. If you wake up at some point in the middle of the night and you're like, I'm just too tired, like I'm trying to just go to sleep, and then your mind starts wandering. I don't know if you're that kind of person who has their mind consistently wandering, but I am. So
Mhm,
when I'm in that point of like I'm trying to go to sleep and then suddenly bam, a bajillion thoughts go through my head,
mhm.
then my dream reflects onto what I'm thinking about right exactly before I fall asleep.
Yes, yes. It's a very specific state, that in between space where your body is resting, but your awareness is still very active.
Yes.
And that's usually when the dreams feel the most real.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
yeah,
Ooh.
craziness, craziness.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's jump into a little bit of symbolism. The woman behind the fence is the first thing that got me. I was like, hmm. So
Yeah.
let's talk about the woman. She's standing behind the fence. She's not inside the yard. She's not touching anything. She's just watching. When I first thought of this, I'm like, ooh, a monitoring spirit.
Right.
Hmm.
It's somebody who's like watching from a distance for sure.
Almost like either astral projection or remote viewing.
Yes. Exactly what I was
Hmm.
thinking. Astro projection.
Hmm. And then so yeah, in okay, so in my practice in like curanderismo, boundaries matter. Okay, so that's the importance of the fence. The fence, the doorways, the windows, these are what we call thresholds. The spaces where the seen and unseen can meet without fully crossing.
Yes.
So it's very significant to me that the woman is outside of the fence, just watching in, but she is in her space. She is protected. There's a
Right.
threshold present.
Yes. Yes.
So I want you to think about that. Have you ever experienced something in a dream or even in waking life that felt close but not fully with you?
Ooh. I don't know. I feel like I yes. You know what? Yes. I'm going to answer yes to that question.
Mhm,
Absolutely. Because I feel like that falls under the concept of people who may have like envidia or like jealousy or just to like watch you and everything that you're doing. Like, okay, let's think about like social media. People use social media all the time to stalk other people.
mhm.
So I think, yes, there's people out here that have in her situation and also like I can attest to that people watch you from a distance. They don't tell you, they don't make it known. They hide it very well, but they are watching you.
You have that, and then you do have those monitoring spirits that are up close and personal with you,
Absolutely.
constantly asking you questions, constantly looking, that it's
Mhm.
giving like, I'm watching you and I want to know what you're doing, why you're doing it, how you're doing it. and everything in between, right?
Yes.
They're reading everything, and all of a sudden, the same people that you notice start doing the same things.
Mhm.
It's always for a reason. Like, there's always something in the
Mhm.
energy field. Obviously not good because they're watching you for a reason. Something they don't like about you or something that they want to be, some kind of envy, some kind of jealousy, something is there that you obviously have that they don't. That's the biggest culprit behind a monitoring spirit, which is
Yep.
why I say protection, protection, protection. You would be surprised at the amount of people who I do work for that, for example, do limpias after limpias, but no protection. And I'm like, what's the point of the limpia then?
There's no point of it.
I'm like,
It's like saying you're gonna do something and you don't do it. You don't actually do the work behind it.
mhm,
It goes to
mhm.
the same concept of like when you say, you know what, I'm gonna start healing myself. You can say you're gonna start healing yourself, but are you actually doing the work behind that? Shadow work, all that good stuff, you know?
Mhm. So yeah, I really, really got immediately from the stream monitoring spirit. And I know this person who submitted the dream. I know their situation. I have done work for them. So I am not surprised. I'm not surprised. And one of the biggest things, again, I say is protection against things like that. And what better way to see and confirm that my work has worked than to know that she had a fence in her dream between her and that woman?
Yep.
I was like, period.
Yeah.
Oh my god. And then yes, so then we go into the energy of the dream changes, right? Okay? Because it goes from being watched to something actually happening. The husband feels pain. His body bends, he loses control. And that's where fear usually enters the picture. Makes sense because she got fearful.
Right.
Because it's one thing to feel something yourself, but it is another thing to feel like something is happening to somebody you love and you cannot control it. So, what hits deeper for you? Something happening to you or something happening to someone you care about?
Girl, that's an easy answer. For me, personally, somebody that I love and I have to sit there and watch them go through pain or
Mm,
something,
mm.
can't stand it. I much rather it happen to me than a person that I love.
I agree with you. And that's where the protector in us comes in, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is a strength and a weakness.
Mhm.
You'd rather
Yeah.
take the toll of the world than to have somebody else around you have to deal with
Mhm.
it. And
Mhm.
it's so beautiful but also heartbreaking at the same time.
Yeah. It is heartbreaking because like at the end of the day all we want, at least from our point of view,
Mm.
is seeing the people that we love taken care of and anything that we can do for them, make sure that we can do for them and they'll be okay and we know that because we were there for them. But the minute that they go through something or they're physically in pain or whatever it is in the case and we can't do anything about it, that breaks our heart.
It does. I feel that. And also I know this about our stargazer too. She is the same way.
Mm,
She's a protector. She's a fierce protector of her home, her family, her marriage. And that's a beautiful trait, but and I'm going to use her as an example because I'm not saying her name anyways, but I've told her like you have to focus inward. You
mhm,
have to
mm,
balance it because imbalance leads you nowhere except you're hurting yourself spiritually, emotionally, and it takes a toll on you. It may be like you may be strong for a while, but it's going to take a toll on you and it could even manifest into your material world.
mhm,
You'll start seeing the effect of what it is to be pouring out of your cup and never
mm.
pouring back into it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Just like they say, you pour into everybody else's cup, And at the end of the day, what does your cup look like? It's empty. And I
Mhm.
can give you another example. What I use at work. What good are you to anybody if you're hurt?
Mhm.
That's the reality of it. If you're hurt, you're no good to nobody. So you got to think smarter and take into consideration it's it can be a little bit selfish, but at the end of the day, you know that you can help somebody else at the end of the day.
It's important to have moments of, being selfish.
Yeah. Yeah,
Pour
and
into your own cup. Don't apologize for it because the more you pour into yourself, the more you're able to pour out into others.
yep, that's all it is.
Oh, okay.
Just like they say, you can't love anybody if you don't love yourself first.
That too. Girl, what is this? What is going on
Dude,
today?
I don't know, man.
I don't know. Okay. All right. Moving on. Okay. But this is the most important in the entire dream. Okay. She doesn't freeze here. She doesn't panic again. As we were just describing her, she speaks. She jumps into protector. We are the light of God. We do not accept anything negative. That is not fear, dude.
That's not.
That is authority.
That is bravery, courage.
Straight up, dude.
You're a leader. You're not a follower.
So in curanderismo, prayer is not passive. It is not begging, it's alignment, it's command, it's remembering who you are and where you stand. I don't know what happened there.
I
That
don't
was
know what
weird.
that was either.
That's weird.
That is weird. That's never happened ever. Hello?
What is going on today?
Don't know. Let me see.
Oh my god.
Okay, there it goes.
I think it worked.
Yeah, I don't know what that was.
Say something.
Hello?
Okay.
Okay.
Hello. Okay.
Yeah. We getting deep.
Anyways, and what happens in the dream here? It doesn't escalate, it breaks. Okay. So now let's talk about what happens after she wakes up.
Okay, yes.
Because this is the part that really sticks with people. The room feels bigger, the space feels occupied, like something is there watching. And again, this could very well be a monitoring spirit. I believe it. You guys have no idea, like it is so possible to watch someone without them knowing. Number one, it is so possible. It's just crazy to me how easy it is. Like I said, protection, protection, protection.
Right.
Um, so this is one of those common experiences after an intense dream like this. Your body wakes up, but your awareness hasn't fully settled back yet. Your senses are still open and your nervous system is still activated. So there's the science behind it, obviously.
Right. Yes, there is definitely science behind that.
So what you're feeling here, it feels real because your body is reacting as if it is still.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. Also, this is intuition also at the same time. I know for a fact this girl has some strong intuition. And she's a natural healer. So I get it and I see why she felt the way she felt.
Mm-hmm.
So, a big problem is a monitoring spirit. Given the things that she's gone through that I know about, like, yes, I believe that that's what happened. Which, I'm still doing work for her, so I might throw in a little decoy jar.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's ask this question. Was something there or was something revealed?
I think something was there. I definitely like there's part of me that's like, yes, there was something there. One, and I'm gonna tell you why, is because when you woke up, you felt something actually there in the room looking at you. The difference between a psychological dream and a spiritual dream psychological dream, once you wake up from it, you might feel your nervous system like still reacting to it. However, a spiritual dream, you're gonna feel a presence there. Like something is gonna linger after, whether you smell something, you hear something, you feel something, you see something. That's more spiritual. I feel like hers was maybe almost borderline both of them
Yeah.
because again, like
Well,
you said,
yeah, she visualized it in the dream, and then she
right.
felt it when she woke
That's what I'm
up.
saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like borderline, it could be both of it.
Yeah.
So, but definitely feel like it's more spiritual with her.
Mhm. And I feel like it came at the right time because I'm in the middle of doing work for her. So
There
I
you
know
go.
now what I need to amp up on,
Yeah.
period.
And it could be a revelation to you. Like something
Yeah.
was revealed to her and she communicates it to you, and then you be like, oh, well, that just revealed so, so.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's going to help me help her.
Right.
So we got this. Like I said, protection, protection, protection. And if you need
Protection.
help, call me.
Yeah. No, for real. And also, I just want to acknowledge the fact that in the dream, you literally started praying.
Yes.
I can't look, I don't know about other people and stuff in their dreams, but I know it took me a long time to realize I have some kind of power in certain dreams and I can start praying and I can protect myself in that moment when those dreams are happening. So the fact that you just like, I don't know if you've had previous dreams where you start praying, but if this is the first dream where you started praying, that's really, really good. And that just shows that your faith is very, very strong. Because when I started doing it, that's what I believed. Like that was when I started getting closer to God and everything. And I truly felt like, wow, my faith is becoming stronger day by day, day by day.
And the stronger your faith, the stronger that you pray. And I don't mean like going into like these perfectly worded prayers. I mean like actually believing what you're saying.
Yes.
The stronger that is, the stronger your shield is.
Yes, absolutely. Like you don't have to have the perfect words. Like I will never forget what a pastor told me when she told me, look, if you want to get closer to God, just talk to him.
Hmm.
When you're driving, pretend he's right there next to you. When you're eating breakfast, he's sitting in front of you. When you're going to sleep, he's laying next to you.
Hmm.
It's a simple conversation. You don't have to have all the perfect words. It's like how I'm talking to you guys right now.
Hmm.
Just talk to God the same way. Respectfully, right?
Hmm.
But the
No,
same
yeah,
way.
yeah. Some people be
Right.
like, homie. And I'm like, no, that's not how that goes.
Yeah,
That's not how that
girl,
works.
like tame it down a little bit. Just a little notch.
A little bit, kind of a little bit on the your God part, you know?
Right, right, right.
But yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. So yeah, I do believe something was there and something was revealed. I think it was a
Yes.
little bit of both there. So yes.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean it's a wild dream, and I'm so proud of her for jumping into prayer, like we said.
I'm curious. I don't know if you mentioned it or not, but in the dream, did she feel like her heart pumping super fast when she woke up? Or like did she feel like tingliness or anything like that? Like did she mention any of that?
She didn't mention that. She just expressed that she was feeling fearful, and so she started praying.
Okay.
So maybe I can ask her.
Yes, ask her. I would love to know that. Just to get a little bit more like insight on what she was feeling after she woke up from the dream.
Mhm.
I'd love to know that.
Okay, okay. Sounds good. We will be in touch with you, Stargazer.
Yes, stargazer.
Okay, so now let's move into something that lives in the same conversation, though. The idea that something can be sent.
Ooh, yeah.
So there's a story about what's called a shadow doll, an object that's supposedly used to harm people from a distance, to visit them in dreams, to affect their body, to reach them without being physically present.
Yeah. So, jumping into that topic. I did my research for you guys again.
Mhm.
And, as soon as like I heard that this dream was going to incorporate a little bit like more of a paranormal side, I was like, hmm. What could I find that incorporates dreams, but also like a paranormal side to it? And immediately, like not even seconds when you texted me, I was like, oh shoot, the shadow doll, right?
Mhm.
So the shadow doll originates from, I don't know if you guys are like deep fans of Ed and Lorraine Warren, but if you are, then you obviously heard about the Shadow Doll. The Shadow Doll was on, I believe it was on tour for a while in this last year when they went on tour with the Annabelle doll.
You saw her in person, right?
I did. I did. And you know what? I'm going to add on to the story a little bit after, just to give like my perspective on after seeing the doll, right?
Okay.
So obviously, like over the centuries and all that, we all know about like voodoo dolls and like ancient dolls and all that stuff, right? Ancient dolls were actually created um, with like Egypt culture to bury them with their deceased so that they could represent them when they passed on to the afterlife. Or if somebody ever saw them and like saw that doll in real life, then they would know, oh, it's this spirit that passed on. I don't know if you knew that, but that was like
Mhm.
something, right? And so obviously voodoo dolls, I've heard a story recently where I didn't know this, correct me if I'm wrong, but voodoo dolls, anciently, they were used to like say Crystal came to me and I was like a curadera or whatever. And I was like, okay, what's hurting you? And she says, oh, her head. Okay. I make a doll that represents Crystal and I put the needle on her head.
Mhm.
And so the next time that she comes, I'm gonna be like, oh well, the last time that I worked on you, it was your head. How's your head feeling? Oh well, it's healed. Oh, okay, so what else? What's going on? That was originally what voodoo dolls were intended for, to keep
Yeah.
track. It was like a medical
It's
record.
yeah, and it's still a popular practice, making
Yeah,
a puppet of yourself, in order to basically cast on yourself so you can protect yourself. You can do spells on yourself without actually doing anything to yourself, like, etcetera, etcetera.
there you
Yeah.
go. There you go. I didn't know that. I really didn't. I really didn't know that. And
Mhm.
so when I learned about it, I was like, oh shoot, like what the hell? But obviously there's people that have used it for like
Maliciously.
maliciously bad intentions, blah blah blah. So and of course we have the dolls that people have used in the past to like say I'm living in a house and my parents die. And let's say I get two dolls and I'm like, okay, these two dolls are going to represent them respectfully. And if they want to move into the dolls, then this is like where they can move into. People did that like
Ooh, people
years
still do
ago.
that. I
People still do
saw
that.
I saw something on TikTok today about that,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Ooh,
Yeah.
interesting."
People still do that and it's pretty crazy because they don't really know what they're like playing with at the end of the day because as soon as you say that, you could be inviting any spirit in or any demon in at the end of the day. At the end of the day.
Well, isn't that how the story of Annabelle starts anyways?
That yes.
Right? Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
because y'all if y'all seen the movie, y'all know what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
But anyway, so we're gonna jump into more of like the shadow doll and all that stuff.
Okay.
So the shadow doll, based on the information that I found on Ed and Lorraine Warren, they stated that the doll was created by an occult that wanted to make a doll that could be weaponized to curse and cause destruction. And so the doll is made out of human bones, animal bones. Um, if you've ever seen the doll in person, obviously it's like a regular doll, right? The face is morphed into the doll looking like it's screaming. And then in the middle of the mouth where it's painted black, there's a human tooth actually like pointing out of the doll, right? And then the rest of the doll, like its structure is made out of human and animal bones. And then like I guess you could say as the hair, it's black crow
Feathers.
black
Yeah.
crow
Yeah.
feathers, right? It's like a bunch of feathers all around. And the rest of it is covered by just like a regular black cloth. And so basically, the story goes before Ed and Lorraine Warren came in contact with this doll, a couple in New England saw the doll in an antique store. They saw it for whatever reason.
I was asking what was the reason.
Girl, girl, I do not know the reason because if I saw a doll like that, I'd be like, hello, turn around, walk out the store. I don't need none of that. Like I don't understand. The memes be like, oh, how like certain people be running away from the serial killer. That was them. Like they were like, oh, this doll is so pretty. You know what? Let me take it home. Like, hello? What is pretty about it? Anyways, respectfully though, because
Okay. Yeah,
anyway,
respectfully.
respectfully,
Yes.
because I'm gonna get to that part.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
a couple saw the doll at an antique store. They bought it, they took it home, and literally not even 3 nights after that, the husband started having nightmares. 3 nights after that, the wife started having nightmares. And from one way or another, the story is not clarified because I couldn't find like the exact case report on it. But eventually they contacted Ed and Lorraine Warren. And obviously, Lorraine Warren has like multiple times said that she's a clairvoyant. And so, after like reading the situation and being able to come in contact with the doll herself, she's like, the doll is the one making y'all have these nightmares. Now, for those of you that do not know, this doll, if you see it in person, if you take a picture of it when you're in person, or or if like let's say me and Crystal have some bad beef and I'm like, you know what, Crystal, I don't like you. I'm gonna take the picture of the doll, print out the picture of the doll, write Crystal's name on it in the back part, fold it up, mail it to her. She gets it, she opens it, sees the picture of the doll, automatic nightmares. It's like a curse.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way the curse is. Take a picture of it, write the person's name, send it to them, and it curses them.
So is it meant to just cause nightmares, like torment in the dream, or like does the doll make other things happen?
Yeah, okay, so I'm getting to that part.
Okay, okay.
All right, so like say Crystal receives the picture of the doll. She opens it, right? Examples of what have happened to victims in this case are they get severe nightmares, like nightmares that lead them to psychological breakdowns where it's like scars that are there for the rest of their life. Like you have this dream and you're like never coming back from it. Two, you experience severe sleep paralysis. Like I'm talking like crazy stuff. Third, it ties back to the sleep paralysis and nightmares, but those two combined, it can lead people to be so frightened in their sleep that they don't even wake up. They literally die in their sleep because of how frightened they are of those nightmares. Now imagine like your worst nightmare that you've ever had and then just times it 10. How insane is that? So just to add on to this, the doll has to be blessed consistently and they obviously put it in a case to contain the energy. And Lorraine Warren said it herself that the doll cannot be moved with a container around it or literally like taken out of the container and put in another one without being blessed. It's almost exactly like Annabelle, but obviously different. Annabelle attacks with doors being slammed. You hear noises, eventually leading up to some kind of possession, right? But the shadow doll is creepier because it catches you in the most vulnerable state that you are in, which is your sleep. And then from there, whatever happens, happens. Like it's so insane. Like it doesn't slam doors. It doesn't possess somebody. It catches you in your sleep. So yeah. And just to add on to that, like I said earlier, I was going to say that I was going to add on to this story. Now that I think about it, my sleep paralysis started after that summer that I went to go see
Stop.
Annabelle and the Shadow Doll and other artifacts that Ed Lorraine Warren had in San Antonio.
Oh my God.
I'm not even lying to you because when I was reading the story, I was like, wait a minute. When did I go see these dolls? In the summer. When did I tell you my first sleep paralysis happened? It was after the summer.
Oh my God. Wow. So wait, when you went to go see them, did you get blessed? Because I think there was a
I did.
you did
I
before and
did.
after?
Yes.
Did you do a limpia?
I
But you hadn't set a protection yet, right?
I did not set up protection. I did not do a limpia. I got blessed by the priest that was there, but I didn't do a limpia and I didn't set up protection.
But you did eventually start praying your way out of sleep
Yes.
paralysis.
I started praying my way out of sleep paralysis. And also, I had met a curandera out there
Mhm.
at the festival.
Mhm.
And it took me a few months to reach out to her. But this was after I had already started praying in my sleep paralysis, like for everything to go away, like God is here, really believing that. And then she ended up like giving me I guess a remedy or whatever. She told me to put a coconut, which I don't know what she did inside of it, put it under my bed where I slept. And after that, I never got sleep paralysis again.
That's so crazy. Oh
And
my God.
and it's like funny because I was over here like online and like this was before I put two and two together, right? Because I was like at work trying to do other things and like reading this at the same time.
You're telling me you just put two and two together today?
Yes, I did.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I put two and two together today and I was like, wait a minute. I went to go see these dolls in the summer. And then the sleep paralysis started.
Wow. Protection, 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 guys.
Protection.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Well, I'm so glad you're out of it.
Yeah. I mean, obviously I can't like exactly like tie in like, oh, it was Annabelle or the Shadow Doll.
It's coincidentally
It's
lining up.
coincidentally lining up. Because I will add this. People who have come in contact with the Shadow Doll, if they experience sleep paralysis, they always seem to visualize the doll at the foot of their bed.
Oh.
But I never experienced that doll at the foot of the foot of my bed.
No, because you said that your sleep paralysis demons were like people you knew.
Yes.
And then a random man, right?
They disguise themselves as you, as my brother, and as the person that I was dating at that time.
Holy moly.
Yep. Now, okay, keep in mind though, people who don't know about like the demons and like all of that side of the story, demons can disguise themselves as something that you feel familiar with so that you feel safe. So that you don't like push them off. Like you're like, "Oh, like I know this person." You almost in a way welcome them in.
Yeah, that's the trick behind it. And that's where, and it's so funny because when we get to talk about the other stuff that we want to talk about, after our case study is done,
Mhm.
it makes sense because I
Oh
was
my gosh.
dealing with that just last Saturday.
Yeah. And then me
Yes, that's
last
so
night.
freaking okay. It's coming soon, guys. It's coming soon.
I promise y'all, we have a good story for y'all.
This is so crazy. Oh my God. Where are my tarot cards?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, okay. So when people hear all of this,
Mhm.
it's very normal, very, expected to go immediately into fear.
Mhm.
but you have to be stronger than that.
Yes.
And I'm saying this because, after this last Saturday, like I was just saying, I felt icky energy in my space since then. What did your girl do today? Today, I got flexed out of work early because, they cut in hours. Um, Came home, did a sweep of this house from top to bottom. Every single room, every single nook and cranny, every single closet, everything I cleansed and I banished. I banished, girl. And I was walking around like a crazy woman in this house. Um, but now it feels so much better in here.
Compared to this past weekend that I came in here, yes.
So much better.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. Um, Anyways, we go into fear here because it feels like something can reach you without your control, which is very true. Like I said, protection. Okay.
Not only that, but like I feel like in those cases, your faith has to be extremely
Yes.
strong
So
because
strong.
a lot of people can talk about, oh, I believe in God and my faith is strong, blah blah blah. But there will come a day where your faith will be tested.
Oh, yes. And it comes
It
more than once.
it will come multiple times.
Yep.
Multiple
God
times.
don't play about testing his
And you know
people.
what? I'm gonna say this because I've heard it multiple times, and I'm gonna repeat it because I think it's very necessary. Obedience, obedience, and faith to God will get you through anything in life.
Hmm.
Anything.
Yeah. And you know what? Just a quick tip. If you're ever feeling icky energy, if you're ever feeling monitored, watched, and you want to jump into prayer, maybe you have a Bible nearby, Psalm 23, Psalm 91.
There you go. 91. I was gonna say that.
Psalm 23 and Psalm 91.
Psalm 91.
Saint Michael is a fierce protector.
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. I promise y'all. Literally. I'm not even lying to y'all. Last night, called on Saint Michael.
Oh, we got to go over that too eventually. Oh my
Eventually.
God. We have so much material lined up already.
Guys.
I am enjoying this. Our stargazers are submitting. We're having more experiences. This is taking off, okay?
It is insane.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay. Let's slow it down. Let's slow it down. Back
Alright.
to the topic. Okay.
Calm down, y'all. Calm down. I know y'all excited and y'all jumping over there where y'all watching the video, but
Yeah. We're jumping over here. What do you mean?
hey, they can be jumping with us.
So one of the important things to understand about this, a doll is just an object.
Mm-hmm.
In my practice, we use objects all the freaking time, right? With herbs, water, candles, physical items that represent something like a tag lock, etc., etc. But the object itself is not the power. It's the intention that's placed into it.
It is the intention, and also let's keep in mind why did Ed and Lorraine keep a museum of artifacts that clearly had spirits, demons, whatever it was attached to them? Why? Because if you burn them, what happens to those demons, those spirits, those intentions?
You release that,
Boop.
and on it goes to another host.
Yeah. It truly does. Like I'm not lying. Like if y'all are truly interested in the way demons, spirits, and all of that stuff works, I highly recommend the books of Ed and Lorraine Warren because they will explain to you step by step by step how possession happens, step by step how if those artifacts were ever burned, they would just be released into the atmosphere.
Yeah, and that way that they have the museum, which surprises me that it's even on tour is crazy.
Yeah.
Um, the way that they had it set up was to contain that energy.
Mm-hmm. Y'all,
That was crazy.
Look, hear me out. I was just telling Crystal that I forgot to add this to the part, but anybody who I guess talks about the shadow doll or takes a picture of the shadow doll, they tend to have a lot of like electrical issues.
Anyways, the camera got cut off, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
The mics have been acting weird, so
Yeah. It's a little
we're
weird.
gonna get close to wrapping it up here.
Right, right. We're good though.
Yeah, no, we're good.
We're good.
Nothing crazy going on. It's just my storage was full. I have like 10,000 pictures. Okay, so jumping back into it, um, you know, from a more mystical perspective, what people call an attack is often just energy that has been directed, which, is an attack. But, there's thought, emotion, and focus that goes into it. This is how spell work works, curse work works, anything works, in the mystical realm, right?
Mm-hmm.
But here's the part that matters. Not everything that is sent lands. Why? Protection.
There you go.
There has to be an opening, there has to be resonance, and there has to be a space for it to enter. So if you don't give it that space, you good.
It's the foundation.
And a person who is grounded, protected, aligned does not easily provide that space. So, protection.
Yep.
So let's bring it back to the dream now.
Back on to the dream.
Back onto the dream. So a figure appears, but it does not cross the boundary. It doesn't cross the fence. Something happens in the body, but the spirit responds. Prayer is spoken, and everything shifts. That's not a story of somebody being attacked. That's a story of somebody realizing their authority. So,
Yes.
many hand claps to the stargazer for remembering who the she is. Okay,
As you should.
as you should.
As you should.
So, not
Period.
everything, while I have my opinions on what the dream was, we decided, but just as a disclaimer, not everything that shows up in the night is something sent to harm you. Sometimes it's something standing at the edge of your awareness, waiting to be understood.
Yes. I think that's a very good highlight right there. Awareness. You
Mhm.
saw her and then you saw her like controlling your husband.
Mhm.
That is that right there. Intuition, faith, right there.
And even if something were sent, your spirit, your voice, and your alignment with God is stronger than anything formed in shadow.
Yep.
Period.
There you go.
So that was our tiny table talk for today.
Yeah, there you go. We're wrapping it up.
We're gonna wrap it up.
We're gonna wrap it up. It's like a reward.
There we go with the mics again. Okay.
Hello?
Hello. We're gonna go ahead and wrap it up with our new moon, little affirmations, little petitions. It is the new moon tonight. It's March the 18th. We have a new moon going on, and this is the time. Biblically, the new moon actually represents the new month. So when you think of a new month, a new moon, a fresh start, this is the time to be manifesting the things you want out of the next month. So we went ahead and wrote down our little petitions and we're going to go ahead and release them. We're going to release them to the universe. So, where's my alcohol? Let's see if I do this right. I practiced this once. All right. All right. You got yours ready to go. Fold it toward yourself 3 times. And then you're just going to drop it in the fire. So let it get going first. Yep, there it goes. Beautiful. And then whenever you're ready, just throw it in.
There it goes.
There it goes. Sometimes again, it's just the intent. It's about putting into the universe what you want to happen for you. And while a lot of people use it for many different reasons, here we're going to use it for what is best meant to serve our higher selves here. So there we go. Cheers to a new month.
There goes.
Cheers to a new month. Why are you being so emotional?
I'm sorry. There's a lot going on this month, so.
All right. This is Tiny Table Talk, and we'll see you at the table next time. Have a great evening and a great rest of your week. Happy new moon. Happy new month.
There you go.